What's up guys, Caleb Bakes01 back again for another random horror review. Doing this review way later than what I normally do my reviews. You can probably tell because I've just slapped on my hoodie. I feel like just being comfy and not getting too out of my, couch potato mood that I'm in at the moment because it is so late. But I also decided to revisit one of my favourite episodes of Masters of Horror. If you don't know, I've done a review of an episode of Masters of Horror before on my channel. That was John Landis's episode Family, which is really good. But once again, I wanted to go back and do another Masters of Horror. And this time I grabbed one of my favourites. It could possibly even be my favourite episode of Masters of Horror now that I think about it. I haven't seen every single episode of Masters of Horror, but I feel like now I've seen at least over half. And this is definitely one that comes to mind whenever I think of the show. That being director Lucky McKee's film, Sick Girl. Now I said this in my last Masters of Horror review, as I said it was Family. I know these are technically episodes, but I like to see them as short films because I really feel like that's what they are. They run for an hour, give or take, and I feel like it's fair game to do a review on these. So we'll quickly get into the plot. So we have our lead played by Angela Bettis, who seems to be Lucky McKee's go-to actress or lead. I've only seen, quickly I'll just say, I've only seen two of Lucky McKee's projects before, one being Sick Girl, which we're reviewing today, and his full-length feature, May, which is such a good movie. I love May. If you haven't seen May, check it out. I can't wait to do a review on that someday, hopefully. But anyway, we have, as I said, Angela Bettis as our lead, and she is, I actually don't know the proper word for this job, but she studies insects and she works in a museum doing studies on them, and she keeps them in her apartment, and she's just all about bugs. She's very quirky, a bit introverted. She's weird, but in the nicest way, in the most likable way. Anyway, you sort of get from the start of the episode that she's having trouble finding a date and someone, I guess, just to share her time with. Anyway, she meets this girl who, probably from the first time they meet, you pick up that they have a connection for each other, and from there in the episode they start this relationship together. Meanwhile, an insect is sent to our lead's apartment. She doesn't know what type of insect it is. She's never seen anything like it, but she's intrigued by it, so she keeps it. And now just chaos ensues from there. I'll sort of leave it at there because, as I said, these features don't run very long. They're only roughly an hour, give or take. So I don't want to get too much into the plot there. I want to leave it there because, as I said, this is one of my favourite episodes of Masters of Horror. Definitely pinnacle for the show for me, from what I've seen so far. So I don't want to give too much away, and we'll get into the review now. So as I briefly said before, I haven't seen too much of Lucky McKee's work. This is only the second thing. As I said, this and May are the only two things that I've seen from Lucky McKee. But something he is really good at is there's something about his movies that are just so likable. They're very different, they're quirky. I just feel like I've never seen any interviews with him or him talking, but I just feel like he puts something of himself in there, which just makes the movies so much more enjoyable. Even if the plot isn't something that we haven't seen before or something overly unique, he puts in these little quirky pinpoints and these amazing characters. He definitely knows how to write characters. As I said, our lead, Angela Bettis, she's amazing in this movie. If we go back to Lucky McKee, you can write characters however you want, but if you don't have an actor, or in this case actress, who is able to put that to screen, there's no point, and Angela Bettis does that amazingly. As I said, she's a very quirky character. She does the same thing in May. Very quirky, dorky, but in a cute way. Such a great lead for a story like this. And as I said, just Lucky McKee knows how to write those characters so well, and just knows how to make these really likable, crazy but yet down to earth stories. That's just something he's really, really good at. I could sing praises all day, but I just want to quickly revisit again. Angela Bassett smashes it out of the park. She is so good at playing these really introverted, quirky characters that, you know, would be so hard to play and so hard to, really convey on screen about, like, you don't want to make them complete weirdos, you want to make them likable, and that's what she does. You enjoy her characters that she plays so much. You don't think they're complete psychos or nuts, but she does add these quirky touches into her performance that are really good. But I also want to quickly add in our second, I guess, lead actress in here who plays her love interest. I forget the actress that plays her, but she does a really good job as well. I don't want to give away the plot, but she sort of plays sort of a Jekyll and Hyde sort of personality. How you see her in the first half of this episode isn't how you see her in the second, but she plays both sides completely well. And I just want to say the acting in this movie all round is really, really solid. Once again, with a episode like this where it's not very long, it's hard to get into points that I love completely just because I don't want to give stuff away. This is one that I definitely recommend and I want you guys to check out. But I guess through the middle of this episode, maybe gets a little bit slow at parts just because I feel like through the middle there's like these music montages of, like, for example, them looking for an escaped bug, and it's them bonding over this time looking for this insect, or there's this other one where it shows you how they're evolving their relationship, making breakfast in the morning, kissing each other before they go to work, that sort of stuff. And I get that because you need to show how these guys are getting along over what is a longer period of time in a episode that only runs an hour. But on the other hand, the episode only runs an hour, so is a music montage the best way to do it? I'm not completely sure, but as I said, I'm probably just being a little bit nitpicky there because this episode is really good and I don't want that to take anything away from it. So I'm sort of just caught between a rock and a hard place there because I get needing to put a montage in there, but maybe not my certain type of thing. But right as it may start to sort of carry on, the ending just builds and builds and it comes to this great climax that is so crazy, and it, maybe if you do lose yourself through the middle of this episode a little bit, the ending is totally worth it because, as I said, the climax is like batshit crazy. It's something that, like, when I think of Masters of Horror in general, let alone this episode being Sick Girl, I just think of this ending. It's such like a throwback to like a 70s, 80s sci-fi horror film. The colours are like really bright. There's like these neon blues thrown around. Some crazy, sort of a giveaway, but some like crazy body horror stuff. And it's just unreal, and I just love the ending to this. Even the ending final shot of the film, final scene. And once again, I'll probably take this back to Lucky McKee, who directed this beautifully, because he does the same thing in May. His final shots in his projects, I definitely want to check out more of his stuff. They're always so sweet, like it's such like, you go, oh, that's such a comforting ending, but it's got this real sinister twist to it. And if you check out this episode, you'll know exactly what I mean. I just love it so much. And I guess I'll sort of leave it there for this episode because I don't want to get too much more into it, because as I said, I don't want to give stuff away, but I could talk about this all day. So once again, Sick Girl, I couldn't recommend this episode enough. It definitely is. It could be my favourite, but just for safety purposes, I don't want to backtrack too much. I will definitely say it's in my top 3 Masters of Horror episodes so far. As I said, I haven't seen the whole series yet, but I feel like I've definitely seen over half. And yeah, as I said, this episode is definitely one of the pinnacle high points of the series. So definitely check it out. I like this one a little more than Family. We'll get into the rating now. I'm gonna give Sick Girl by Lucky McKee an 8.5 out of 10. I guess, as I said, my only low points sort of being maybe towards the middle, it does sort of drag on a little bit too much. I would love him to make a full length version of this episode, turn it into a movie that runs, an hour and a half, an hour 40, give this an extra half hour to, build on maybe the mythos of the bug, or build on the relationship, and you have these teetering moments in the relationship, build on that. I'd love to see that in a full length feature. I doubt we will, but yeah, that's just me with some wishful thinking, but we'll leave it there, guys. I can't say it enough. Check out Sick Girl, especially if you haven't seen any of the Masters of Horrors. I definitely would say that's a good place to start, but we'll leave it there for today's review. Once again, Sick Girl by Lucky McKee, I give it an 8.5 out of 10, and I'm appreciating everyone who's coming back and watching my videos, guys. I'm enjoying putting out content again, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.